Hi, I'm Nathan. I grew up in this cozy little town right in the heart of New Jersey. I am 33, and my childhood was pretty typical, like every other child's. My mom and dad busted their butts to make sure my sister and I were taken care of. We were not born with a silver spoon, but we were all right and comfortable. One thing my childhood was filled with was architecture. For as long as I can remember, I have been obsessed with buildings and used to draw sketches and drawings of buildings by imagining these epic skyscrapers. It was my thing. And that childhood dream of becoming an architect did not just fade away, like every other dream, and so I decided to actually go for it. My dad, Patrick, supported me entirely and was always ready to help me out whenever I talked about all this. Though he rarely understood architectural things, he did give me pointers on my sketches. "Hey Dad, check out this cool building I drew." "Wow, Nathan, that's impressive. You have got quite the talent there." "Thanks, Dad. I want to be an architect when I grow up, designing huge skyscrapers and buildings." "That sounds amazing, son. You have always had a knack for drawing and creating things. I believe you can do it." "Really? Do you think so?" "Absolutely. You have got determination and creativity, Nathan. If you set your mind to it, you can do anything." "Thanks, Dad. I'm going to work really hard to make it happen." "I know you will, son. And remember, I will be here every step of the way, cheering you on." So after high school, I packed my bags and headed off to Stony Brook University after receiving my acceptance letter to chase that fancy architecture degree. College was a wild ride, but I enjoyed it, and as people say, hard work pays off. Mine fully did. Fast forward to after graduation, I scored a gig at one of those fancy firms in New York. Now, moving to New York was a whole new experience because it felt like a different world, entirely. The noise and the crowds, everything hit me a lot at first, and it required some getting used to, but with time I fell in love with that city vibe. The energy and the creativity were like nothing I had ever experienced before. And I was then practically living my dream of designing buildings left and right and soaking up every bit of that NYC hustle and bustle. And then I met Shirley, one day. She walked into my life like a whirlwind and turned everything upside down in the best possible way. With her infectious laugh and unwavering kindness, she stole my heart from day one. Our relationship was easy and effortless, like we just clicked. Shirley's outgoing personality balanced out my quiet personality perfectly, and she brought out the best in me and pushed me to chase my dreams and never settle for anything less than I deserved. Our weekends were our sacred time together. Whether we were exploring the city's hidden gems or whipping up a storm in the kitchen, every moment was pure bliss. And our little anniversary tradition was just another way to remind each other how lucky we were to have found one another. On one anniversary, I gave Shirley a necklace, and I still remember the look on her face and how her eyes lit up with joy when she saw it. It was not just a piece of jewelry, but a reminder that no matter what life threw our way, we would always have each other. "Oh, Nathan, it's beautiful. I love it." "I'm so glad you like it, Shirley. Happy anniversary, my love." "Thank you, Nathan. This is perfect. I will love it forever." "I'm glad to hear that. I wanted to give you something special, something that would always remind you of how much I love you." "Nathan, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. I promise to wear this necklace every day for the rest of my life. I am marking this as a symbol of our love and commitment to each other, okay?" "Okay. As you say. I love you more than words can express, Shirley. You mean everything to me." "And you mean everything to me, Nathan. Forever and always." Then, one day, everything changed. I woke up, reaching over to hug Shirley, but she was lying there, still and unresponsive. Panic hit me hard. I shook her gently, then harder, but she stayed motionless, her face calm but strangely still. My heart raced as I called her name over and over, trying to wake her up, but she didn't move at all. With shaking hands, I dialed 911 and begged them to come quickly. The paramedics arrived in what felt like seconds, but it seemed like forever to me. They tried everything, but it was too late. Shirley was gone. The doctors later explained that she had suffered from internal bleeding in her stomach, a silent killer that had taken her from me in her sleep, but I could not understand how this could have happened. She had been perfectly healthy and vibrant just the night before. It didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't help but replay our last moments together in my mind, searching for clues or signs that something was wrong. And then I remembered that her stomach had been aching badly the night before, but then she took some pills and it was fine. She had kissed me goodnight with her usual warmth and laughter and had drifted off to sleep. And now she was gone, leaving me with nothing but questions and a shattered self. The days that followed were filled with tears and disbelief. Everywhere I looked, I saw reminders of her, and it felt like a horrible joke, like she would walk through the door any moment, laughing at my panicked reaction. But she never did. And as the reality of her absence sunk in, the grief hit. She was the love of my life, and now she was gone, leaving behind nothing but memories and emptiness. After Shirley's passing, everything felt different, and I couldn't bear the thought of staying in our old apartment, surrounded by memories that seemed to mock me at every turn. So I made a decision. I left behind my job, my friends, and everything and headed to Aurora, a small village nestled in the quiet embrace of nature in New York. The change of scenery helped me a lot with my grief, and I finally found a sense of peace. I rented a modest cabin on the outskirts of town, far removed from the hustle and bustle of city life. It was just me and the quiet, and for the first time in months it felt right. For 3 long years I lived a simple life. I spent my days wandering through the woods, fishing on the lake, or simply sitting on my porch, watching the sunset and people. There was something comforting about the rhythm of rural life. I kept to myself and avoided the prying eyes and well-meaning but ultimately hollow condolences of strangers. I didn't need their pity or their sympathy. All I needed was time to come to terms with Shirley's absence and to heal the shattered pieces of my heart. And little by little, I did heal. The pain of her loss slowly dulled to a manageable state, and I found solace in the simplicity of rural life, in the quiet beauty of the world around me. And yet, a part of me never stopped questioning the suddenness of her death. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Shirley's passing than met the eye. She had been perfectly healthy, and yet she was taken from me so suddenly and so unexpectedly. It didn't make sense, and try as I might, I could not silence the voice in the back of my mind. But I was not able to do anything. I had no evidence, no leads, nothing but my own suspicions that there was something wrong. So I tried to bury myself in my new life. I tended to my garden, chopped wood for the fire, and spent my evenings lost in the pages of a good book. But no matter how much time passed, one thing remained constant, and that was the ache in my heart and the unanswered questions that haunted my dreams. But I never thought a trip back to the city would change everything. One day, after 3 years, when I was visiting the city again, I saw a young girl, no more than 15 or 16, wearing a necklace that stopped me dead in my tracks. It was the same design, the same intricate pattern, complete with Shirley's initials engraved on the pendant. She was wearing Shirley's necklace. My heart skipped a beat, and for a moment, I couldn't breathe. I approached her carefully with curiosity, and a sense of déjà vu was washing over me like a tidal wave. "Excuse me, that is a beautiful necklace you have. May I ask where you got it?" "Oh, this? My aunt gave it to me. She said it was very special." "Your aunt? What is her name, may I ask?" "She passed away a few years back. Her name was Shirley." "What? Are you sure her name was Shirley?" "Yes, why?" "I'm Nathan. Shirley was my wife. Did she ever say something about me?" "You are Nathan? I have been looking for you for years." "You have been looking for me? Why? What's your name?" "My name is Lily, and my Aunt Shirley told me that if anything ever happened to her and I needed help, I should find you. She said you were the one person I could always trust. But I never got to meet you. Until today." "I can't believe this. Shirley never mentioned you to me, but here you are wearing the necklace I gave her. It feels weird." "She was my favorite person in the world. My mom and I never really got along, but Aunt Shirley was always there for me and protected me from everything. When she died, I felt so lost. I tried to find you, but I didn't know where to start. I felt like I was dreaming, or like I had stumbled into some alternate reality where the impossible was possible. Shirley had never told me about any of her nieces. All I knew was that her parents had died in a car crash a few years before I met her, and that she was an only child. I had no idea Shirley had a niece, let alone a sister. And the fact that she had been looking for me all those years was way too suspicious, and I was totally confused. But then tears welled up in Lily's eyes, and she threw herself into my arms, clinging to me as if I were her lifeline in a stormy sea. Then as Lily and I sat down to talk, the pieces of the puzzle slowly began to fall into place and revealed a picture of Shirley's life that I had never known. "Lily, tell me about your family. I want to understand more about you and Shirley." "Well, there is something you should definitely know. Shirley had a sister named Donna. She is my mother. Donna? Shirley never mentioned her. I'm not surprised. They had a very strained relationship. It was filled with tension and resentment. Mom has always been selfish and greedy and always puts her needs above everyone else's. She treats me like a burden, not a daughter. That must have been so hard for you. How did Shirley fit into all of this? She was my savior. She always tried to shield me from my mom's negative influence. She used to take me away whenever things got really bad at home. We spent so much time together. She was more of a mother to me than Donna ever was. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Lily. Shirley was an amazing person, always thinking of others. I wish I had known about all of this. She never wanted to burden you with her family's problems. She tried to keep things separate. But after she passed away, Mom became unbearable. That was why I was looking for you. Shirley told me that if anything ever happened to her, you would help me. I wish I had known sooner. I would have been there for you in a heartbeat. But I'm here now, and I promise you, you are not alone anymore. As Lily spoke, I realized I had never heard about Donna all these years, and I had no idea if Shirley had kept her hidden from me intentionally, or had she simply never found the right moment to bring it up. I had so many questions and so many regrets swirling around in my mind. But there was more. Lily went on to explain that shortly before her death, Shirley had visited their house hoping to reconcile the differences between her and Donna once and for all. It was a bold move, but things hadn't gone as planned. The visit had quickly turned into a heated argument and had escalated into a physical tug between Shirley and Donna. And then, in a fit of rage, Donna had pushed Shirley, which had caused her to collide with the corner of a table. Lily explained how at first, Shirley had seemed fine and had shrugged off the incident with her usual grace and resilience. But when she was leaving their house, a deep pain started in her stomach. Donna had left the house filled with rage, so Lily gave her some pills and offered to take her to a doctor, but she declined. Lily was sure that the impact had caused her internal injuries and had been the reason for her death, and it was the only reason why hours later, back at home, Shirley had collapsed in her sleep when the internal bleeding had finally taken its toll on her fragile body. As Lily talked, tears ran down her cheeks, reflecting the pain I felt too. It became clear how much Lily loved Shirley, so I reached out to offer any comfort I could. Now, everything became clear, like why Shirley was always silent about her family and anything related to it. It all made sense now. She had been protecting me and shielding me from the ugliness and pain that had affected her life for so long. And yet, despite everything, she had still found it in her heart to forgive Donna after all these years and had to reach out one last time in the hopes of finding peace and closure. When I listened to Lily recall the events that led to Shirley's death, I was filled with grief, anger, and a sense of revenge. Shirley's death was not a tragic accident, it was a result of Donna's reckless actions. As I got over the shock of Lily's story, I felt a strong urge to act. I couldn't let Donna get away with it. Shirley and I deserved justice, and I was going to make sure we got it. So, feeling like I had a new mission, I made up my mind to talk to Donna and make her face up to what she did to Shirley. I knew it wouldn't be a walk in the park, and there'd be plenty of hurdles along the way. But I was ready to do whatever it took to make sure she didn't get away with it. Then, while Lily and I were bonding over how mad we were at Donna for what happened to Shirley, we started cooking up a plan. We couldn't bring Shirley back, but we could at least make Donna pay for what she did. But we knew we needed evidence, solid proof to back up our accusations. So for the next few weeks, we worked really hard to gather information about what happened to Shirley before she passed away. It was tough, and sometimes we doubted ourselves, but we kept going because we all really wanted to make sure the right thing happened in the end. Nathan, I just don't know what to do. We want Mom to pay for what she did to Aunt Shirley, but we don't have any solid evidence against her. I understand, Lily. It's a difficult situation. But sometimes the biggest evidence is right in front of us. What do you mean? Lily, you were there when all of this happened. You witnessed Donna's actions firsthand. You mean my testimony? Exactly. Your testimony is powerful evidence, Lily. You can tell the court what you saw and heard that night. Your words could be the key to holding Donna accountable for her actions. But what if they don't believe me? What if Mom denies everything? We will cross that bridge when we come to it, Lily. But I believe in you. I know you are strong and brave, and I will be right there beside you every step of the way. Thank you, Nathan. I don't know what I would do without you. Also, I know it is a tough situation, Lily, but we can't give up. There has to be something, some piece of evidence that will prove what Donna did. And you don't have to do it alone, Lily. We are a team and we will face whatever comes our way together. Lily was my biggest evidence and she had agreed to support me through the whole thing. Plus, we had found some footage that clearly showed that Shirley had visited Donna's place the same night of her death, and how Lily had escorted her back to a taxi outside. I thought this was enough evidence for us to confront Donna and hold her accountable for everything that she had done. And then the day finally came to face Donna and talk to her about her actions. This was it, the moment of truth, which I had waited for all these years. Lily was by my side and I made my way to Donna's house, ready to face her head-on. The confrontation was intense and was filled with accusations, denials, and emotional turmoil. Donna tried to dismiss my claims and brushed off Shirley's death as a tragic accident. But I was not buying it, and neither was Lily. We had evidence, hard proof of Donna's involvement, and we were not going to let her off the hook that easily. Donna tried to threaten Lily, but I had her back. As I laid out our case and showed her all the evidence we had gathered, I saw something flicker behind Donna's eyes. There was a hint of fear and guilt that she could not hide. She constantly tried to deny it and to put the blame on anyone but herself, but all that evidence left her with no choice but to confess. I knew Donna was behind it all, but when she finally admitted it, it felt like a bitter reminder of the pain and heartache she had caused. She admitted to the argument and to the push that had ultimately led to Shirley's death. And as she spoke, her guilt and remorse finally surfaced and bubbled up from deep within after years of denial. "You are Donna, right? We need to talk. Who are you?" "And about what, exactly?" "I am Shirley's husband, and I'm here to talk about her and what really happened to her." "Oh, so you are that dead witch's husband. She had kept you hidden all these years and now here you are. Anyway, Shirley's death was a tragic accident and I'm sorry for your loss. There is nothing more to discuss." My patience was wearing thin upon hearing her words, but I tried to control myself. "No, Donna, it was not an accident. It was murder. I know what you did." "That is absurd. Sure, Shirley and I had our differences, but I would never harm her." "You can deny it all you want, Donna, but I have evidence. Lily saw everything. She saw you push Shirley that night." "Lily? This girl here is always making up stories. You can't possibly believe her. This little witch has always been spreading lies about me and I will teach her to keep her mouth shut this time." "Don't you dare threaten her. Lily has been through enough because of you. It is time you face the consequences of your actions. I see you have learned to follow your wife's footsteps, always the saint. But the good part is that I did nothing and I will never face any type of consequences." "Donna, stop lying. You know what you did and you need to take responsibility for it, or I know whom to call. 911 is a pretty easy number." Donna's front started to crumble. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. It was just a stupid argument and things got out of hand. I never meant to hurt her." "Well, I guess it is too late for regrets and excuses, Donna. Shirley is gone because of you, and you need to face the consequences." "What do you mean?" I said I'm sorry. It was just a mistake. "I will call the police, Donna, and it is time you face justice for what you have done and face consequences for your mistake." It was a bittersweet victory, and I received a small measure of closure from the overwhelming grief. But I was not done yet. I wanted to make Donna pay for all that she had done. Leaving Donna's house that day, I still felt really sad about Shirley's death. But I felt a bit better knowing Donna would finally have to deal with what she did. After talking to Lily and Donna, I knew I had to tell the police everything. It was the only way to make sure Donna got in trouble for what she did. So even though it was hard, I went to the police station to report everything. Walking into the station, I went to the front desk, where an officer glanced up at me and I told him that I wanted to report a crime. The officer took down my information and asked me to wait. Soon, a detective called me into his office. His name was Martinez, and he was a no-nonsense type, with sharp eyes that seemed to miss nothing, so I told him everything. "I need to talk to you about my wife, Shirley's death. I believe it was not an accident." I recounted the whole argument between Shirley and Donna. Martinez listened and even asked questions here and there to clarify details. "This is a serious accusation, Nathan. Do you have any evidence to support your claims?" "I have CCTV footage from the alley outside Donna's house." It clearly shows Shirley arriving at Donna's house that night and how Lily, Donna's daughter, escorted her back to the taxi because her stomach was aching badly. This could be valuable evidence. Is there anything else? Yes, there is one more thing. Lily saw everything. She was there when it happened, and she is willing to testify. I will need to interview Lily and review the footage, but this is a promising lead, Nathan. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I just want justice for Shirley, detective. She did not deserve to die like that. I understand, Nathan. We will do everything we can to get to the truth. A few days later, I got the call. The police had arrested Donna, and she was being charged with manslaughter. I felt a mix of emotions and even a strange sense of closure. Shirley's death had not been in vain. Donna was finally behind bars and was being held accountable for her reckless actions. The trial was tough, and I relived the events, hearing the details again and again. It was like opening a wound that had barely begun to heal. But Lily and I stood strong and supported each other through every step. When the verdict was read, a heavy silence filled the courtroom. Guilty. Donna was sentenced to several years in prison. It was not going to bring Shirley back, but this was my revenge back at her in the best way possible for taking the love of my life from me. It was the best I could do for her now. When me and Lily were leaving the courtroom, Donna was being taken by the guards, and she didn't waste a moment to spat her nonsense once again. You think you have won? This isn't over, Nathan. I will make you pay for this, both of you. Save your breath, Donna. You have been sentenced for what you did, and there is nothing you can do to change that now. You will regret this, Nathan. And you too, my little witch. I will make sure of it. I'm not afraid of you, Donna, and neither is Lily. We will be watching, and if you ever try to come near us again, you will regret it. Let's go, Nathan. She is not worth our time. Watching Donna being arrested and charged with manslaughter felt like a weight being lifted off my shoulders. For years, I had carried the burden of Shirley's death, the unanswered questions, and the sense of injustice gnawed at me from the inside. But now, finally, there was a sense of resolution, a feeling that justice had been served. After Donna was arrested and sentenced, I realized that Lily was left with no place to go. She had lost her aunt, and now her mother was behind bars. The thought of her being alone in the world, especially after all she had been through, tugged at my heartstrings. I could not bear the idea of her ending up in some impersonal foster system or bouncing between relatives who might not care for her the way she deserved. Shirley had always been the protector, the one who looked out for Lily, and now it was my turn to step up and ensure that Lily had a safe and loving home. The idea of adopting her felt natural, like it was what Shirley would have wanted. I knew I had to talk to Lily first, to make sure she was comfortable with the idea, and so, one afternoon I sat her down and explained my thoughts. I told her that I wanted to adopt her, to become her father, and to provide her with the stability and love she deserved. Lily, I have been thinking. Now that everything is settled, I want to talk to you about something important. What is it, Nathan? I want to officially adopt you, Lily. I know it might be a bit sudden for you, but I have been thinking about it for a while. I want to be your legal guardian and give you a stable home and a family. You want to adopt me. Yes, Lily, you have been through so much, and I want to make sure you have the support and love you deserve. But it's a big decision, and I want to know how you feel about it. I don't know what to say, Nathan. I never expected this. You don't have to decide right now, Lily. Take your time. Think about what you want and what is best for you. Whatever you decide, I will support you. Thank you, Nathan, for everything. You have been more than just a friend to me. You have been like a true father. You are like a daughter to me, Lily. And I will always be here for you, no matter what. With her agreement, I started the legal process. It was a bit tiresome, all the paperwork, home visits, interviews, and all, but every step reinforced my resolve. I was determined to give Lily the family and the home she needed. Once everything was finalized, there was a quiet celebration. It was not grand or elaborate, just a simple dinner at home, back at Aurora Village, followed by a walk by the lake. Lily was no longer just a reminder of the past and a connection to Shirley. She was my daughter now, and I was her father. In the years that followed, Lily and I have built a life together in Aurora. We faced challenges, celebrated milestones, and always supported each other through thick and thin, and adopting Lily was one of the best decisions I had ever made. It brought us both a sense of belonging and a chance to create new memories while cherishing the old ones. and I knew that Shirley's spirit was with us all the time.